got a lot of problems with you people.
And here we go again. Mega Man Part 3. This is gonna be more fun than the Iranian hostage crisis. Well, that's not a very high bar, is it? So, here's Metal Man. Mega Man purists out there would insist that we were supposed to do this stage first because the saw is arguably the best power-up in the game. But don't listen to the purists, they don't know. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to play Mega Man. I can do and say whatever I want. I'm like that guy in the Burger King crown on that plane. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyway, the NES really struggles at this part. I feel like Mega Man's gonna give someone an epileptic seizure with all of his flashing about the place. Gotta put warning labels on this shit. Or else somebody who weighs 90 pounds is gonna complain. I was watching this Let's Play and, the character was, flashing a lot and it, upset my epilepsy. That's my impression of you. So this segment's annoying. There's far too many drills. If IGN were to review this, they'd probably say, 7 out of 10, too many drills. You guys remember that, don't you, when IGN complained about there being too much water in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? What a stupid thing to do. Just think, pretty much every game journalist out there at one point was a bright young college student who had a future to look forward to and probably wanted to become a novelist of some kind and write fascinating books for educated people, and then reality hit, and now they're writing reviews of SpongeBob's Hysterical History Tour or whatever, and personally, I give SpongeBob's Hysterical History Tour a 6.5 out of 10 because I thought it didn't have enough scenes with Sandy in it. Sandy's my favorite character because I like to support feminist causes in my video games that are based on cartoons. Gosh, what a world we live in. People get paid to write that schlock you read on IGN or GameSpot or 1UP. Is 1UP even still around? Or Kotaku, or I guess that's pretty much all of them. All the ones that matter. So, Mega Man's not a fan of little pink clowns and nightcaps, as you can see. But I guess that's just sort of the natural reaction when literally everything that moves wants to kill you. At some point you just get toughened up to the world and you don't tolerate anyone's BS anymore. Hey, you know what would be funny if whenever Mega Man died in this game they played the Eric Andre "We'll be right back" noise instead of just the meh 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 meh. It would be funny at least a few times, and honestly after that it would probably get old, but I don't know, it's a half-decent idea. It's not like the Japanese people at Capcom are aware of Eric Andre. I get the impression the Eric Andre show would translate very poorly into other languages. Well, I guess the physical comedy, like when he smashes his face through the desk and that sort of thing, that would translate well, but by and large I think a lot of the humor would be lost. So anywho, getting back to all things Mega Man, I was a bit too young to have experienced Mega Man when it was at the height of its popularity in the 8-bit era, but I'd imagine it must have been pretty cool for people who were around back then. Cause I've seen articles about how Capcom made toys of all the Robot Masters back in the late 80s, and would have been kinda neat to own that. Well, I guess they did kinda do that when I was a kid too, during the Battle Network era, that they had like a few plastic Mega Man toys like Metal Man and Guts Man, and so I guess I did get to experience that as a kid. But anyway, where I'm leading with this is I saw an art project where somebody made some claymation toys of all the well, I guess they're not toys, but clay models of all the Mega Man Robot Masters, and They turned out really good, and it just kind of filled me with this sort of childlike sense of wonder and nostalgia, and oh, I wish I had had toys like that when I was a youth. Let's look at a few pictures of them right now. Cool, huh? There's some talented artists out there. I wish I was a talented artist, so then I could create something of value, instead of just yelling at my computer in 10-minute increments. So anywho, here's Flashman's stage. I'm not gonna spend the remainder of this episode just coming up with words that rhyme with Flashman, cause I don't treat my audience like they're a bunch of imbeciles. Who would do that? Gosh, wouldn't that just be the worst thing ever? Try to imagine it. Does Flashman know Bashman, and Bashman is mean to people on the internet? I would never do such a thing. I have respect for my audience. So anyway, let's talk about something engaging, like the history of the series. So, most people know, well actually few people know, that the creator of Mega Man is Kenji Inafune, and even fewer people know that the term creator in that sense should really be used pretty lightly, because Kenji Inafune claims to be the creator of Mega Man, when in reality all he did was he just drew a picture of the character on paper. He didn't do any of the programming or the sprite work or anything that mattered. He just came up with a doodle of sorts, and then he went around parading himself as the creator of this video game. He thinks he's hot shit when it was the people under him who actually made the freaking game. He has no right to claim that he was the creator of Mega Man. As that one guy says,
Who gave you the right?
yeah, so fuck you, Kenji Inafune. I bet that's not even your real name. The biggest fraud in all of gaming. As Guru Larry would say, the biggest fraud since Peter Molyneux. So anywho, switching topics, I was watching some Digital Foundry the other day, and they had that episode about playing modern systems on CRT televisions, and I felt inspired and wanted to try it for myself, and so I did. And the results were surprisingly better than I expected them to be, because I hooked up the PS5 to this old CRT that I've had since like 2003, and I expected a significant downgrade in the overall visual fidelity of it, but to my surprise, the games look pretty much about the same, even though they're on a TV from 2003. It kind of makes me wonder, maybe I shouldn't have bought that 4K TV a while ago. There isn't much of a use for it if the old CRT is still fully functional, and the input lag's a lot better on the CRT than it would be on a normal TV anyway. I gotta say, this is a heck of a thing to discover. It's like something you find in a dream. You just dig up an old TV you haven't used in a decade, and somehow it's able to use all your modern game systems, and they still look great. It's a heck of a thing, I tell you. I tried out like Hulu and all those other, related apps that the PS5 offers also, and I was curious how those would look, and that looks pretty good too. Some of the episodes are kind of cut off on the side, and episodes that are meant to be in 4x3 are still kind of like compressed into like a little box, even though it's on a 4x3 TV. There's still the letter boxes on the edges, but all in all, very interesting. Uh-oh, what do we got here? Message from Nightopia. I love that song. So, we continue to make steady progress in this game, and I have it on good authority that we're gonna beat the game next episode. For those of you who know this game well, you're probably wondering how I'm gonna do that, seeing how we still have half the game to go. Don't know how I'm gonna do all that in 10 minutes, but we'll see. You just gotta believe in me, or whatever, or some shit.